Hello, lightmoondoll here. I wanted to do a video for Art Talk, and today I'm going to talk about the gnome and the symbology of the gnome because recently I've made a gnome doll, and this gnome doll was created from the scraps that were found in the bag of yarn that I bought recently. And I did a video about the thrift store yarn and fabric haul that I recently was happy to be a part of. So this is the gnome that I recently started working on. Look at her little earring. I just love her little butterfly earring. The butterfly earring was made from just a charm that I found when I was out running my errands. But yeah, I'm trying to debate on whether or not I want to paint her face because I recently got some flesh tone colored paint. So I might want to paint her face because, I don't know, just a really, really pink face. And I don't know, what do you guys think? And that red part on the nose. So, but yeah, this is one that I'm working on right now. I used the yarn that wasn't that much yarn, like to do actual project out of, like to use for crochet. I use that for her hair as well as the braids in the front here. And yeah, pretty cool. I like that she has like a sweater coat. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys more about the gnome and what the gnome symbolizes and my own personal experience with actually seeing a gnome. Yes. And I think I may have talked about it once on this channel, but I'm gonna put her over here comfy there in the corner there. But yeah, I found something online that you guys might find interesting. If you're fascinated by these magical beings, which I find that they are, a lot of people don't want to talk about them because they think that they'll be seen as being crazy, but we should be far beyond that, I would think. At this point in time, we're in the year 2025, and where people are thinking that the idea that gnomes don't exist is just beyond me. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is what are gnomes? Gnomes and garden helpers have long played a role in European culture. People believed small human-like beings known as gnomes or dwarves could eliminate evil from the lives of anyone who owned one. Gnomes were thought to possess magical powers to protect or punish people and reward them with happiness and treasures like gold. European magicians and mystics thought gnomes represented the most important fundamental spirits of the earth, water, fire, and air elements. Supposedly, gnomes wore conical hats because that allowed them to move through the earth as easily as humans walk on land. So yeah. So here's my own personal experience with gnomes. Me and my family decided to go on a trip to the ocean, and it was my first time going to this area where the ocean was located. And we went to this one forest. It was called the Pygmy Forest, and inside the little forest, it's called that because it looked like a bonsai type of forest, because the soil was depleted, so the plants, the trees are stunted. They didn't mature to their full height, so it looks like a bonsai. It looks like a forest for little people or something like that. But anyway, and there was an actual bench inside the forest, because you're not allowed to go in there, but you can just see it, and there's a pathway through it to take a tour through there to learn the history about it and the plant life and everything like that in there. But anyway, there was a little bench in there looked like for a little person to sit down, and it said elf was carved in there. So as we're walking through the pygmy forest, all of a sudden I did see a gnome. I saw a little person with a conical hat. I wasn't on any, I wasn't on acid, or anything like that. I did smoke some cannabis, but it wasn't anything that was out of this world cannabis or anything like that. But I saw that. I saw that being, and it looked like a little Santa Claus guy, and he was smiling. He just went. He's like peeping out like that, and he had on red and a red conical hat, and the boots and stuff. But I saw him. He just like kind of looking out like that, and the only person saw him was me. So that's what I'm saying. I totally believe that I think there's a certain thing called the morphogenetic field. I had smoked a little bit of cannabis, and I was able to see, or I was able to see this being, and this being was able to see me, see that I could see that being, that little gnome guy, and it was adorable. So I think it was a point of like, when you're extremely more and more relaxed, then you're able to see things that you would normally see on a daily basis. And that's the thing about, and I know this isn't my cannabis channel, but that's the thing about cannabis for me. It helps me to relax, and then I end up getting more into a meditative state, like walking meditation with whatever it is I'm doing during the day. And I end up being very sensitive to the point where I can see things that most people won't see, in the day, in their day, because they're wrapped up in the 9-to-5 grind and wondering, I hope that my balance on my register was okay. I hope if I don't, I'm gonna lose my job. Those kind of concerns I don't have, and I feel blessed that I don't, because I used to have those. I've worked many jobs like that where it was just high pressure and taxing on the heart, that's for sure. I say taxing on the heart, and I'm drinking this monster drink. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you, as well as sharing with you my newest creation. When I was at the thrift store and I was able to get that thread, the yarn and the fabrics, I also saw a lot of jewelry there, and I think I mentioned that in the last video I did about the thrift store haul, and I got the yarn and the fabric. I also saw a lot of jewelry there, and that's why I'm gonna just deck these dolls out in jewelry. And so I'm getting better about when I go shopping at thrift stores and getting exactly what it is that I want and need to finish my projects. Because that's one of my main things. And the thing about me having both ADHD and autism spectrum disorder is that the ADHD can be very impulsive and just, okay, let's create this. And that's awesome. But it's like just going and doing it. But at the same time, then you get all these projects started, and you got to finish them. And that's where the autism part comes in for me, where I like to finish something all the way through to its completion and then move on to the next. So I've got both things going on. And that's something I've been talking to my psychiatrist about. And I'll soon be, I'm still looking to get a diagnosis for both ADHD and autism spectrum disorder. People seem to be a lot more resistant the older that you get. Yeah, I do want the diagnosis. I think it's very important for me to get that, because not like it's an excuse, because a lot of people, you just want an excuse for why you are doing what you're doing. No, it's not called having an excuse. It's called having an explanation, because a lot of people make assumptions. So this paper, this assessment, this diagnosis will show See, this is why my mind and my brain works this way. And that's how you can understand how to communicate with me, because I've done all my life. I spent all my life trying to communicate with people in a neurotypical world, which I'm not neurotypical. I'm neurodivergent. So I've spent all my life trying to. It's not like I'm being bitter about it. I'm just saying this is the facts. I've spent all my life trying to adapt to a society that's not designed for me. I mean, just a lot of the stuff, the industrialism of where I'm living, the noise pollution, the traffic, the people almost getting hit, ran over by cars, the it's a lot, and it's not a world that's designed for people that are not neurodivergent, that have ADHD or have autism. It's not. This world isn't designed for that. It isn't. It's pretty much shut up and get back to work. You know what I mean? Get off your lazy ass and get a job, kind of deal. Yep. But as we're learning more and more about both of these things, that it's not that easy to do when you're overly stimulated. So a lot of this, what I do, a lot of the art that I do helps me to be less overly stimulated by this world. And it keeps me sane. It keeps me feeling focused. It keeps me connected to what's real. And what's real to me is love, peace, and creativity. So with that said, thanks for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this channel, you can go to my Cash app. My cash tag is lightmoondoll. Yes. In exchange for your donation, I can create a one-of-a-kind piece of artwork for you, like this shaman gnome witch. Or I can create a video based on a topic of your choosing. With that said, brightest blessings to you all. I'll see you soon, and please, please, stay creative, my friends.